Welcome to the Quick Stop F1 podcast. My name is Nyasha and you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. Joining me on our inaugural race preview pod is everyone's favourite producer, the only producer we have, Mario. How's it going?
Hey Nash, how's it going? Good. How are you, man?
I'm alright, man. Can't complain. We are on the eve of another Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Everyone obviously remembers the drama at 2021 between Max and Lewis. And last year even there was a couple of battles between Charles and Max when they were doing the old DRS hokey pokey. But for you, what do you think of this track? What are your thoughts on this track?
You know, it's a pretty young track. It's been used 2 years. This is a third year. It's a fast one. I'm very. I was looking at it last year, right? Last year there were 7 drivers who didn't finish.
Okay.
So that's interesting. That's interesting. Do we see that again in this race, or is it maybe going to have a little bit more finishers this time? I'm very curious about that.
Well, I think because there was, I do remember quite clearly the Mick Schumacher crash.
Yep.
Was there someone else that crashed as well? I can't remember if there was maybe it was I can't remember. Someone else crashed as well because I think there was a couple of safety cars potentially. And also early season attrition with cars. Reliability seemed to be a little bit of an issue last year as well with some of the cars with the new regulations. So yeah, hopefully more cars do finish. But also, I don't think we had a safety car in Bahrain. So not a full safety
You're
car.
right.
I think there was a VSC.
Yeah.
So I think always fun when the safety car comes out, and we will see about that. Do you have any fun facts about this track? I know you do.
You don't? No, not really.
Oh.
It's just being such a young track. Like we were talking a little bit earlier about that. Yeah, last year it was all about one pit stop being the strategy.
Yeah.
We saw those spins that there's a specific turn where we see a lot of spins. I think drivers take it. We mentioned earlier, it's like 60% of the track you're going full beans on it. So. Yeah. I'm very, very interested to see how the new drivers are going to handle that.
Yeah.
But not many fun facts just because it's such a young track.
No, that's really true as well. And you've got that corner. Yeah. I think the corner you're talking about is the one that they made modifications to towards the end of the lap, the chicane, which was a blind corner. And then you had the runoff, but it wasn't much runoff. So that's why when Mick did have that crash last year, it was such a big impact because he basically went from one wall into another and the car essentially ripped in half. And it kind of spelt the beginning of the end for Mick at Haas, even though it was...
Oh, say it ain't so.
Well, he's landed on his feet. He's fine. It kind of...
Failing upwards even.
Well, that's that Nepo baby privilege.
Sir.
He's got a lot of privilege. He's got Nepo baby privilege, white privilege, I don't know what else he wants, but no, he's living life to the fullest. It's a good track. I like Saudi Arabia. Especially, obviously, look, with everything that happened in 2021, I think there was a red flag in 2021 because of a massive crash, and I believe there was a safety car as well. Potentially, I might be wrong on that, but it does serve up drama. And to be fair, as a 1-2 kind of combination for the first races of the season, Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, good tracks to serve up because you can overtake. Even though you are on the throttle quite a lot, there's obviously a long straight with a hairpin at the bottom, and obviously into the start finish straight, you've got the chicane at the end there. So I'm a fan of it. I'm willing to give it a go. Big up my boy Andy. He's out there at the moment. Lucky guy.
Lucky indeed.
Very lucky. So big up him. And I think for me,
what's up? Let me give you this one. Last year, it was cool that one thing that I will mention, it was Checo's first ever pole.
Yes,
so that was
it
that was pretty exciting.
Your familia.
Yes, sir. That's when I call him primo. You know, when he gets those pole positions, that's my cousin.
Yeah.
But my guy, you remember who won?
Max no. Wait, did he retire that race as well? Oh no.
Did he? He did not retire, but he did not win.
Who won last year?
The top three are Perez, Leclerc, and Sainz.
Oh, did Perez
And I
win?
want to. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing in race result here in F1. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at Singapore, dude. I just messed up.
I was like, I know.
Yeah,
Max
yeah, that's why. Because I know Ferrari. No, Max didn't win. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Ferrari won. No, Verstappen did win. I'm so sorry, Nyasha. I'm such a rookie at this. Look, let me try and save myself. Leclerc was number 2.
Yeah, and Sainz was third.
You think he's gonna get number 2 this year?
No, well, he's definitely not going to get second this year. So we've got the news that Charles Leclerc had to take a 10-second penalty. Sorry, 10-place penalty.
10 position.
10
yeah.
position grid penalty for a change to his electronic computer.
Yep, he did.
system.
So they replaced the energy storage at the beginning of so before the race.
Yeah.
But then during the race, it was the control electronics of his engine, and that's a 10 grid penalty. And you don't have a lot of those during the season.
Well, he has
So,
2, and this is the
Exactly.
third. So
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
like, if this is a tendency for Ferrari, like. Imagine the grid penalties of their. I don't know. It feels dangerous for Ferrari this year.
It's tight for them, man. I'm not gonna lie. Fred Vasseurs, I think, already complaining that he's under a lot of pressure already after one race. But I guess that's what comes with the. That's what comes with the job. You know, Ferrari were supposed to make inroads into the. Red Bull kind of gap that they had, and they were close last year. You know, they were able to get pole positions, even though they might have fallen away in the race. You know, they were able to kind of fight with them. And like we said, we had that battle between Verstappen and Charles at the beginning of the season. So, yeah. Oh, sorry. Big up Jervis as well, who is with my boy Andy. And they are guests of Ferrari, so I won't be too.
Ooh.
I won't be.
No.
I won't be too hard on Ferrari, but they know full well that they need to do better. And look, Charles says that he's got complete faith in the team, and there's not really much more he can say at this moment in time. But
Exactly.
It's not looking great. And look, I think the whole. I saw a quote from Martin Brundle saying he's never seen so many disgruntled drivers after the first race of the season. And because, obviously, other than everyone in Red Bull, I think you've got a bunch of drivers who are just not happy with the pace of their car, one of whom was Lewis Hamilton.
Yes, sir.
He was quite vocal, and we spoke about it on the main pod about his thoughts on the concept and how they needed to change the concept. I've got a quote from him which says, I did not open it. Look at me. So Lewis Hamilton said in his pre-race driver's briefing, in hindsight, it wasn't necessarily the best choice of words, but of course there are times when you're not in agreement with certain team members, but what's important is that we continue to communicate. So he's walked it back, but obviously he's not happy.
Can I just say, because I think people will see Lewis walking it back and everything and not realize, my guy, this is a legend. This guy doesn't need to do this. This guy can say whatever he wants about Mercedes, obviously within reason, and I am not overly critical of it because he's proven time and time again that he's a legend. Yeah. So it's like, there is no reason why someone of his stature has to go back and say, oh man, these comments that I said are not necessarily the best. But the fact that he doesn't care about how big he is and he can go up and say that wasn't the right wording and stuff like that. I think he's one of the few drivers that shows that. I think if you compare him to the rest of the drivers, I don't think many would have walked it back.
No, I don't think many would have. And I would say that's a really good point because he is a leader, right? And I think, we look at situations and look, not to proverbially shit on Max, get well soon, but we saw in Singapore last year when things didn't go right, and he stormed off, and there is probably still a little bit of maturing for Max. He has got more mature than he was earlier in his career, but at this point in time, I wouldn't say that kind of leader pickup. It'd be cool to see Max in if Red Bull did slide back, which probably isn't going to happen anytime soon, but it would be cool to see how he motivates a team, how he encourages a team, how he kind of brings a team forward and develops a car into something that is, able to progress over the course of a season. But that's something that Lewis has done time and time again, whether that's at McLaren or Mercedes, in 2013, Mercedes in the title fights in 2017 and 2018, 2021, and obviously last season as well. I mean, to be fair, like any season when you say the Mercedes have always been able to develop, and have always said that Lewis is key to that. And not only is that his technical knowledge, but that's also his ability to motivate and encourage those around him. And I think that's a quality that is often overlooked when assessing Lewis.
I think he's one of the most genuine drivers at the end of a race, when he's first thing he does is like thank everybody, and that's I appreciated him clearing it up. I think we agree it wasn't the right wording, but we were also not like super mad at it. Like, he has the right to be that way, not always, but he does have the right, like, if he does it once, like,
and you would be frustrated as well if you had said something to someone, like, and you were saying earlier, this could backfire because we'll probably go on the stream and it's rubbish, but you guys were giving me tips on my microphone, and if you guys were giving me tips on my microphone and then I ignored it and I was like, no, the way it was is fine, and then we went on the stream and the microphone was rubbish and people were still commenting, Nyasha, your sound is awful, then you would have a right to be annoyed. And I think when you're part of a team and you have expertise and they're not being listened to, like you said, he's driven a lot of Formula 1 cars. He knows what it needs, and specifically he knows what he needs to succeed, right? And we see how Red Bull kind of cater to Max. I think I saw a quote from Alex Albon that said, driving the Red Bull, he likes a lot of front end in a car, and he said driving a Red Bull was like driving in a sim with the sensitivity turned all the way up to like 100. Like it was so much front end. It felt like the car. And
Albon kills it at the simulator. That kid looks like a simulator god to me.
Well, look, you know what? To be fair, he was never part of that whole Twitch quartet thing. During lockdown. To be fair,
wasn't it Leclerc, Russell, Albon,
Russell, Lando,
and Norris?
So Leclerc, Russell.
Albon. I know that F1 at Sky Sports or something did an interview, and Albon was there.
Was he there?
Calling them the Twitch quartet.
No, that's absolutely maybe. Research that for me. If you could,
I'm feeling good about it just because
as good as your
hey whoa
just making sure
hey whoa
so
at least I take criticism. You said that doesn't sound right, and I said like, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, I would hope you would take that criticism. So like hey, welcome to the Quick Stop F1 podcast. Oh wait, no. Welcome to the Quick Stop F1 Patreon. Yay! Too much? Okay, that was too much. Do you want more hard-hitting content?
Yeah, when you've got a lion biting into your shoulder, you're accepting I'm an antelope. Does that make sense?
A Discord channel where you can talk F1 with your friends, pre-sale links to all of our live events, and exclusive merch not available elsewhere. So, just like anything to do with Quickstop, we have something for everyone. So, click the link, take a look around, and if there's something there that tickles your fancy, feel free to support us and from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate all the support, whether it's in the Patreon, in the YouTube comments, Twitter, anywhere. You guys are so supportive, and this will allow us to just go to the next level and be able to invest into the platform to bring you even more sick content. So from Tandy and I, thank you, and remember, keep it on the black stuff. So yeah, and look, Lewis Hamilton also this weekend clearing up some other rumours of him potentially going to Ferrari, and he was very quick to dismiss those, essentially saying, and let me get the quote up, should have had it up already, I still have 100% belief in this team. It is my family and I've been here a long time. I don't plan on going anywhere else, but we all need a kick. We all need to get on. So, you know, the classic management 101 there. Like, you have to give people a shit sandwich. So, if you're going to say something bad to someone, preface it with something good, give them the shit, and then at the end, just be like, but I like the effort. So, that is essentially what
I didn't hear you give me that sandwich when you were criticizing my wrong stats. I thought you were going to say, Mario, you're great at researching, but you failed this time.
Good effort.
Thank you.
That's
I believe it.
There you go. A for effort. So yeah, like I think we all know that Lewis is. Look, I think F1. We have to realize as well. F1 people get bored, and there's not much happening at the front because we know Red Bull are going to run away with it. So making mountains out of molehills is something that the press are going to do, and you know Lewis. Potentially, there's not a chance in hell Lewis is going to go to Ferrari. Like, that's just not gonna. Guys, come on, man.
Let me interrupt you real quick, Nyasha. Do you think Lewis feels any type of way towards the rumors? Because I think Lewis is sure that he's not going anywhere, but maybe that pressure that Mercedes might feel just a little bit of like, there's a slight possibility that Lewis might leave. Wouldn't that create a sense of urgency within the team?
I think if
or do you think everybody just blows it off?
I think everyone just blows it off. There's always rumors around Lewis Hamilton, whether it's about his happy. No, there was a period where they were like, "Is he gonna go off and do music?" Like, you know, and then that didn't happen. And you know, he's been pretty clear on the fact that you know Mercedes is his home. He wants to stay there until the end of his career. He wants to create a legacy there. I don't buy into the fact that Lewis would look across the pond somewhere, or sorry, look across the field, grass is greener, etc., and be like, oh, you know, let me try and snatch one last time. I think, honestly, not that he's at peace with what he's achieved, but I think if you look at his demeanor and you look at how he conducts himself, the whole reason why last week felt like a big thing of him talking out of turn against the team was because we don't really get that from Lewis, and it was an anomaly rather than the norm. And I just think within there, they're talking about contract extensions, and also, you know, to that point, we didn't get a contract extension until
there was an article of him even saying like, we will get this signed before the start of the season. Like there was confirmation that extension was going to be signed, and then it wasn't.
And I guess, for sure. And look, like you were at pains to tell me last week, which I didn't mention, Carlos Sainz's contract is out at the end of this season. So, you know, 2 + 2 = fish. People are going to go fish. So, you know, I think I'm not worried about that at all, to be honest.
Follow-up question.
Shoot.
Hamilton goes into music. Are we starting a music podcast?
No, because I don't like R&B, and he makes I feel like he would make like a lot of wet music, Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know that 50 Cent meme was like, this for the bitches. Like, I don't think I'm gonna sit down and be like, oh, let me put the news like XNDA tape on. Like, that's not. Do you know what I mean?
What if he makes a diss track for like other F1 drivers?
That would be the softest diss track ever. That would be
the chorus would slap though. It would be
the chorus would be lovely.
So vibey.
It would be very club friendly, but I don't.
that's what,
I don't. I can imagine it would sound like something I want to listen to whilst having a rose petal bath. Like, I don't think for me, I'm there.
that'll be the cover. That'll be the album cover.
Yeah, most
Him in a
likely.
rose petal bath.
It will be him in a rose petal bath, most likely half naked, and that's fine.
And it'll fly off the shelves.
That's fine. Look, that's going to go triple platinum in the streets, but I don't think I'm going to leave my profession as a Formula One podcaster to go report on that, although I will support, of course. So look, I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
I've just thought of this. I'm a genius now. But I think we should, every race preview, we should be like, who needs a big race? So
I like it. Who's got more to lose in this race?
No, I think
or more to win?
Who needs to gain a lot. So who from the last race needs to have a good race to stave off pressure or to improve on their performance from last time?
I'm not gonna say McLaren because it's the easy one.
Okay, yeah, no,
I feel like McLaren. They definitely need it. Lando needs it, etc.
Yeah.
AlphaTauri. I think
interesting.
I think
which one though?
Yeah. Which of the drivers?
Yeah, they should on the drivers.
I just think the team in general. That team in general. I'm not messing with the vibes so far. I think the vibes are off in that team a little bit. And
didn't
I think
Yuki
that
finish 11th though?
He did, but they haven't done. Like I read some of it, like Marco criticizing they need to be better at performance, better at financially, and AlphaTauri haven't. They've been if not for Yuki, I haven't been interested in AlphaTauri much. Like, and I think they need to. Let's think about like the secondary teams. I think as far as secondary teams go, AlphaTauri hasn't done much, hasn't said much, hasn't proven much, and I would love to see Yuki just like put it on 7th or something like that.
Yeah, they've regressed as a team. Thank
you for summarizing it better. Yes,
they've regressed. So you've got that period when Gasly went back, and he was constantly 2021. He was like in 5th place, like every qualifying weekend. It felt like consistently in the points. Obviously, they've had the victory in 2020. They've had podiums, I believe, even after that as well. So you would expect them to get more. I think there were rumours that Red Bull were looking to sell AlphaTauri. Like you say, they're inefficient. And, what are they getting out of AlphaTauri, especially now that they're kind of running their own team now? Like, do they...
The driver, it's not really a driver, like training. What you know what I mean? It's not really a program for them to grab someone from Red Bull, it seems.
No, and I think it was a place where they could put drivers, right? And now...
With Gasly, that felt like a punishment. Like when he was put in AlphaTauri, it felt like a punishment. I don't think that should be the vibe.
Yeah, exactly. It was a regression, wasn't it? Essentially, and now they've hired Nick De Vries, who's, vastly experienced, but wasn't part of their junior program. Even though they have junior people, they have Liam Lawson, Iwasa, Hauger. Like they've got.
Do you, for example, like Checo is? I'm not saying anything. I'm simply saying Checo isn't part of the picture anymore. Do you think they grab De Vries or Yuki, or do you think they go outside to grab someone?
I think
they go outside.
I think it depends on this season. To be honest, I think they'll probably be looking at it and saying, "Okay, let's see how Yuki does this season. Let's see how Nick does this season," with a view that if Yuki doesn't do well, most likely he'll be dropped. If Nick doesn't do well, most likely maybe one more season, but he could be dropped. They've got drivers there who could come into that team, and I think if Checo gets dropped, I mean, all kind of sources are saying that Ricciardo's not really being considered for that seat, and I
hope so.
I would love to see that, but I think I mean, it would be interesting. I don't know where Ricciardo goes. Honestly, I don't see a way back into Formula One for Daniel Ricciardo if it's not with Red Bull, because it won't be with McLaren, it won't be with Aston Martin, it won't be with Alpine, and then you're looking at Haas maybe.
The same last teams that we were saying last year.
Yeah, essentially.
Go run it with Haas. Go run it with Williams. Have a storybook year, and I don't see it.
I don't see it. So we'll see. We'll see. But he seems.
So who do you think? Who do you think? Same question. Who needs a good win, or not a win, but who needs a good weekend? You think?
Esteban Ocon. Oh my God. Hopefully they
like it. That's a great pick.
Hopefully they've let him out of whatever jail he's currently serving. Because Jesus, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
He's been in Jeddah since last week, my guy. Right. He's been in Jeddah in jail since last week.
Right, he's been throwing a tennis ball against the wall for the last week. Solitary confinement, no light. Like, I just honestly. So he needs better race. He needs to get into his grid slot.
That's a great pick.
He needs to not speed in the pit lane. He needs to make sure no one touches his car if he's serving a penalty, and just have a good race. Look, for Gasly to come from pretty much like what 18th, 19th,
19th.
To get into
was
the
it
point.
20th?
It might be 20th,
it might be 20th.
I think it was 20th, yeah. So for Gasly to go from 20th to 9th, thank you very much, is incredible. Really good result, and it shows the pace of the car. So, and he was on like an alternate strategy as well, which shows that potentially tyre wear could be, favourable for the Alpine. So yeah, and we all want to see that battle. We want to see, I think Ocon did well in qualifying and he vastly out-qualified Gasly. So we want to see, can he start to assert his authority in that team? But it'll be interesting to see.
Technically, thinking about it based on, Gasly starting 20th, going to 9th, and how Ocon did last race, theoretically, there should be a good fight between them.
There should be. I think they're they're closely matched, and the story of their background makes for a lot of spice. Thank you, potential drama. So I like that.
Yes.
Quickly,
yep.
Who do you think is going to spring a surprise on us?
Spring a surprise. Damn. That's so difficult. I'm going to say I think Albon's going to have a good weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, Bahrain was a power track. Williams tend to do well at tracks where they don't need to have a lot of downforce on the wing, so potentially could be, although we will see. Albon's a good one.
Who do you think?
I'm gonna go.
It's a tough question. When to think about it, really, it's tough.
You're basically pulling it out of your ass, really. But I guess.
Yeah.
I think, based on expectations, and based on what they will do, I think Hulkenberg's gonna do well again.
Ooh. To help, I just remembered another note about last year is that Nico actually raced in Saudi Arabia because he replaced, it was the second race in a row that he replaced Vettel due to the COVID illness that he had at the start of the season. So I think that's a really sneaky good pick, just because while Nico wasn't in an F1 season, he did race Saudi Arabia last year.
He did. That is very true. Recent experience at that track. Oh, yeah, and Bahrain as well. So probably in out-qualifying Kevin Magnussen and not beating...
Tell me real quick, what do you think McLaren? Do you think McLaren does better this year? Not this race. Do you think they do more or less the same? I'm feeling for Lando. I wish Lando was competing a bit more.
I do feel for Lando. I was going to say Oscar Piastri, but honestly, I think he's fucked. Respectfully.
Until I don't see Lando do well, I don't think Piastri's going to do well just
yeah.
because of the car, the conformation of the car.
Like an absolute shit box to drive. So I think it's. We'll see. Until they stick something on that car, I'm not incredibly enthused by McLaren's prospects. I think I think if they have more reliability, that's all they can ask for. That's an improvement. So if they can get 2 cars over the line, get some mileage into that car, then that's a good result. I think anything outside of that is just not going to happen, to be honest. So anything outside of that is just not a good result.
So I'm going to give you the top 5 positions in qualifying and the race of last year, and then you can give me your qualifying predictions for this year.
Shoot.
Okay? So last year, and this is the Saudi Arabia GP this time. Okay. I made sure. Okay. Yeah. We had qualifying be Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, and this proves good with your Ocon comment. Ocon qualified 5th last year. So that's your top 5 quality. Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen, Ocon. Race result. Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Russell. So not much changed. Perez started 1st, ended 4th. Leclerc started 2nd, ended 2nd. Sainz started 3rd, ended 3rd. Verstappen started 4th, ended 1st. Ocon started 5th, ended 6th. So it looks like qualifying and race performance go along pretty well.
I mean, look, I'm going to predict a Max.
Yeah. Give me a top 3.
I'm going to go... You know what? I'm going to go Sergio Perez to get on pole again. Max.
Okay.
Alonso.
Oh, you think this is going to be a Bahrain repeat, huh? Not exactly, but close.
I think maybe, look, with Max feeling some ill effects, potentially they might shave a bit of time off him, and that gives Checo an opportunity to get pole at the place where he got his first pole position. So that's potentially he likes that track. He's obviously confident around there. Obviously Aston Martin. I think Alonso didn't have the cleanest lap on his qualifying. I think he could definitely have got more time out of it in Bahrain. So potentially, could he break that top 3? I think that would be interesting to see. And then, I think after that, probably Sainz. And then potentially, we'll see. Can Lance get ahead of Russell and Norris?
I was going to ask you exactly that. Like, we had to, and we did during you guys did during the regular podcast. Like, we talked about how impressive really it was for Lance Stroll to get 7th last race with the hand problems and everything. So what do you think he's going to do this race? Or what are you looking for him in this race? Stroll specific.
I think just to be as close as possible to Alonso. I think it'll be interesting to see now he's feeling a bit better. How close can he get to Alonso? How can he out qualify Alonso? I think it'll be really cool to see. Lance is in a good car now, and when he was in a good car with Checo, when they had the pink Mercedes, he has some good results. He got a pole position, so I think it's not. Against the realms of possibility for Lance to out-qualify Alonso. I don't think it's going to happen, but it'll be interesting. Can he get in between, Alonso and the Mercedes? I think that's the big question, and I think that's going to be an interesting one to look out for sure. Right. We'll leave it there. Couple of housekeeping issues. I have...
Not issues, never issues. No.
I should probably
reminders.
A couple of housekeeping reminders, guys. We are running a fantasy league. We're running an F1 fantasy league. So if you've joined that, remember that you have until qualifying start. Oh no, is it qualifying? Yeah, until qualifying starts to get your changes in. I'm going to get it up now because I should have had it up before, but then I started looking at quotes. So, see, shit sandwich. Good to get this up. Should have had it ready. keep the effort up. So the
Remember, this is the first episode. This is the first episode. It's supposed to be janky, so it can be better in the future.
For sure. So big up Kebs Racing, who's currently leading on 381. Scuderia Eliza, she's on 370, and Luna Motorsport on 368. So congratulations to you three.
Where's Nyasha?
209. But these man used all their, like, I know they used their triple points and them things there, bro. Like, come on. I did well.
Do we have to launch a review? Do we gotta let the FIA know? Do we need to look into this?
Launch a report. Don't worry about that. Remember, guys, that there's prizes for the top 3. So I think there's like gift cards. I can't remember which denomination I did on the thing, but there's gift cards for the Quickstop F1 store. And obviously, once the season finishes in November, there's going to be so much stuff that's going on there. You know, we're kind of piloting bits and bobs. Things might come out, things might not come out. But by Christmas, there's just going to be obviously the Christmas ranges, the other stuff that we're bringing out. So really cool prize for you guys. There's 572 teams in here. So one of you.
Also, speaking of fantastic merch, remember the Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to pre-sale to merch before regular sales. So definitely a very good thing to have once we ramp up the merch.
Yeah, no, for sure. You can get exclusive pre-sale on merch. You can get pre-sale on Quickstop Live, which will be coming to you on May the 14th. I can't wait to show you guys the details for that, as well as exclusive content and ad-free ad-free podcasts. So sign up. We'll leave a link in the description.
Yes, sir.
But for now, we will see you after qualifying for our qualifying review. Mario, thanks for joining as per.
No, thank you for the invite. This is exciting. Next time I'll actually talk about the GP that we're reviewing and not a different
that would be really I did wonder, actually, is that why you're giving me Singapore GP stats?
It's just I was looking up Singapore because fun fact, Nyasha, when was the first F1 night race held?
Yeah, this is what I was asking. Like, why did you ask me this? Did we already? Did I already say that? I didn't already say that. No, before the call, but we haven't said the fun fact in the call. It was in 2008 in Singapore. Yeah. But this is why I was like, why? Like, is this why you were telling me this? Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, no matter what life throws at you, keep it on the black stuff. Until next time. Look, mate, if you've got this far, clearly you like what we do. So here's a link to subscribe to the Quickstop F1 family. Give that a click. And here's another link to some more cool on our channel. Sorry, cool stuff. And remember, no matter what happens, keep it on the black stuff. Click the stuff. Click the links. Click the links. Click the links. There. They're there.